Just so everyone knows, this is going to be recorded.
And we'll make the recording available to people probably sometime next week. This is Elizabeth Clayton. I'm the Total Health Wellness Specialist, and it is my pleasure to be able to introduce Dr. Bhatta. He happens to be an internal Northern Light employee. He's the lead physician for Northern Light Urology, and he has also been a decades-long practitioner of living in mindfulness and awareness. And just last year, he wrote and published a book called Journey from Life to Life. It's a book about living this life successfully and happily while preparing for the next one. And he is also going to be delivering a special wellness workshop called Harness Your Energy, a wellness meditation workshop, and that's happening later in April. And I actually have right here, for those who are sitting right here in the Chinquette building with us, I have a flyer. If you are interested, it's on April 19th at the Machias Savings Bank Community Hall. So thank you all for joining us, and here's Dr. Bhatta.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And I must also appreciate and extend my thanks to Paul Bolin and Ali Worcester, because they made it happen, and they're giving some limited sponsoring seats for us. That is a great support for us and kind of builds us confidence. So this is our team. One of them is me, Krishna Bhatta. Dr. Ali Kavari, he is a retired urologist, and he's here today. He will give his thoughts after I finish. Judy Ashby, she's a librarian at Bangor Public Library, but she has experience in giving workshops. And Shaman, if anyone knows that, she is certified or kind of close to getting certified firewalker. So that thing kind of frightens me, but she has done that 2 or 3 times. Charmin Patel, she is a psychiatrist. She works at Acadia. And the Reverend Andrew Gibson. Sandy Carver is one of our CRNAs, and she's good at giving anesthesia, but she also was a champion basketball player at University of Maine, and she is in Hall of Fame there even now. So what do we get out of the workshop? And we have 2 kind of goals there. One is that it's a kind of a charging station. You come, have a unique experience and in a concentrated fashion, and then you take some tools home which you can practice and incorporate in routine life. Because whenever you do meditation out there, it's like never as good as having it in your daily life routine. Like you go and brush your teeth in the morning, you can just say, okay, 10 minutes today, I'll be mindful of everything I do. So you are practicing mindfulness in your daily life, and it may be 10 minutes, but slowly it starts percolating and becoming part of your life. So these are the 2 things. One, we give you unique experience, and then minor explosions is what I call, when you go in deep meditation in one day, don't expect to get enlightened. But you will have some minor experiences, some momentary experiences for a few seconds, maybe a few minutes, maybe a few hours that you will treasure, and that you can expand on and work on in furthering your spiritual life. So this is, there are 2 groups of participants, I say, that will come to this. One is totally new, who have never done meditation, who have probably never been to yoga or mindfulness, and they will learn these new tools and skills, benefit from the group effect, and then can go and practice. But we are also inviting and expecting some experienced people who have done these things, but they bring their experience with them, and they are there for the group effect, which has benefits for all of us, and then they continue their practice as well. I was giving a talk on physician burnout, and then I realized that it's not limited to physicians. It's all across workforce, whether it is any provider group. And I had a chance to talk to Peter Vignew, who is chairman of Chimbro, and he gives wellness talks all around the state, and probably the country. And he was saying that this is present in construction industry and other industries too. So the whole idea is that 50% burnout rate. My focus was 50% that don't burn out. Do they have something that protects them from burnout? And can we use those elements and kind of transfer that to the people who are more prone to burnout? And that thing led to a hypothesis that I will share with you today, and then we will practice that in our workshop. So we all know about body and mind. I am saying that we have body, mind, and we have another element called the flame of consciousness, and I'll explain that as we go along. That's one that many of us don't even know that we have that, and most of us don't work on that. So we become extremely successful in our life as far as body is concerned. We build our body, we can train ourselves to go in zero gravity. Mind, we can become, we have produced people like Einstein or Edison. And nowadays we can go to moon and even go to sun. There is a Parker Solar going towards the sun, a probe. But the flame, we kind of put it aside. So here is a little bit about the body. The body is essential for growth of mind. If we don't have body, the mind can't do much. And also, it's essential for growth of flame. Even people like Buddha had to come in physical form to get enlightened. And then in my book, I touched these layers of body, that we know the physical body, but we also have an ethereal body and an astral body and mental body. It goes up to 7 bodies. The last one is the cosmic body. And you may experience the ethereal body, which is like a vapor. When you are depressed, you feel small. When you are happy or angry, you feel like yourself big and expanded. That's the property of ethereal body. The physical body doesn't shrink or become big. And then physical body, we all know, has a limit from aging. Some of us can live up to 100 years, but functional time, and we all know what that range is. It does vary for us. And then we have the mind. And I try to differentiate kind of mind into 2 classifications. One is the one, and I want the relationship to be friendly, because it's always with us. As long as there is body, there is mind. So we can't say that we don't want it, but we give it names like monkey mind. But at least have a friendly relationship and work with it. So it has a wishing mind, thinking mind, emotional mind, and of course intellect and identity and ego kind of go together with that. But the second part, mindfulness, we always need. That is what kind of makes the growth happen in our life. So when you come to the workshop, one thing, we definitely would encourage people not to bring or put it outside with the cell phone. That will not be there as well, is your resistance, the point to resist or analyze or judge. So for 24 hours for the course of the workshop, we will prefer people not to do that. They bring their commitment, but try not to analyze during the period, try not to resist. And of course, mindfulness you have to bring all the time. So that's one of the things. And then we come to the little flame of consciousness. And this is a story, it comes from urology. One of my colleagues, you can see there are 2 cars, and he has been trying to convince me for a few years to buy electric cars. And then a few weeks ago, he comes and says, don't buy it. And I said, what happened? And he said, well, I was in my car with my LL Bean big coat, parka, gloves, and I was still freezing. Because I couldn't turn the heat on. If I turned the heat on, I wouldn't make my destination. So that shows the importance. I mean, the car, the red color, the body, that represents the body, and the dashboard is the mind. But the flame, that engine, that battery is so important, and you need to have that charged enough to have a happy car journey. So that kind of explains what the flame is. It's not the soul, it's not the spirit, it's not the Atma, it's not the Paramatma. Physical body is essential for its growth, and we are all born at a different kind of body. Like we can be a mighty body or a fragile body. We have a mind, also different levels of mind. We all know that, but also different levels of the flame. And flame is the core strength. So if we can move the flame, make it bigger or deeper, then we can probably change our proneness to burning, or resilience can improve. And it's definitely hard to explain this one, but I'll give a story of Socrates, and then probably that will give a glimpse of what this flame is about. So Socrates was poisoned, and when he was poisoned, there were other people trying to cry or feel sad and trying to do that, but Socrates did not want to lie down and just wither away or just go away. So he said he will experience the effect of the poison as he throughout his whatever time he's got left to live. So he was walking and expressing everybody that I'm now feeling that I may not be able to walk, but I'm still inside the whole. There is no change in my existence inside. Inner kind of flame, that's what he was describing. And then he lied down and he kept saying until he could speak that, the flame is still the full flame. And he didn't use the word flame, but the inside, I am still whole. That doesn't feel like, it has diminished. And in the end, he said that, now I may not be able to talk, I may not be able to express, but I'm still the whole. And there is no change in there. And of course, he was no more after that. So that kind of expresses the flame I'm talking about, that we are all born with a different level of flame. And I do want to separate it from spirit or soul, because those have their own meanings, and to everybody has different understanding of that. Every culture has different understanding. But you can do very little with spirit or soul, but the flame you can work on and move its level. Like you can have a meditation to move into sleep with awareness. And further, sometimes accidentally some patients have experienced that they are under anesthesia, but they remember everything that's happening around them. So that's the flame, and awareness comes with flame. And that's what we will practice in our workshop. So here, it's like a power of PowerPoint. You can see how nicely they can do things now. So body is needed for both the journey of the mind and journey to the flame, or the journey of the flame as well. And mindfulness, so I'm distinguishing mindfulness and awareness here. That awareness is something like standing in front of a mirror. When you are in front of the mirror, you are aware there is a reflection of you in the mirror. When you go away, that reflection is gone. So awareness is like that. You are aware of things that when they happen. But mindfulness is the one that keeps the record. And that's why the experience of Buddha or Moses or Jesus, we know because of mindfulness, not because of their awareness, because mindfulness came and reported it to us, or he was able to report to us. And that we'll practice mindfulness and awareness in our workshop as well. So meditation, a little bit about meditation is that all meditations, doesn't matter what meditation you do, requires breathing management. And many of the breathing techniques, there are 7-day retreats on Vipassana, which is based on breathing meditation. And we will be doing that breathing meditation as well. But during breaks, and because we will be restricting, because it's an inner journey, it is advisable not to be talking and not to be spending a lot of time with open eyes. So there is a whole thing we will work on conserving energy. And so in the breaks, you can manage your breathing. Thought management, there is always that monkey mind we talked about. Thoughts will come and maybe you will find it disturbing, but have a friendly discussion with your mind and say, can you stay outside? Mindfulness and awareness we talked about. And the divine is an essential part of any meditation because it's an adventure, it's a journey to the unknown, an inward journey of the flame. And believe it or not, there are times when you will feel very scared or afraid if you go deep in meditation. So your divine, whichever divine energy you believe in, and we also invite divine when we do the workshop. And you want them with you on your side. And the other part, which is if you go in deep meditation, you will realize that you can go so far. So one thing about meditation is that there is some similarity like sleep and meditation. The sleep, you prepare yourself, you switch off light, you cuddle yourself in the bed, and you put a kind of situation surrounding where sleep happens to you. You cannot force sleep on you. The same way meditation, you create a surrounding where meditation happens to you. Meditation is not something you can force yourself onto. But once you have taken yourself so far, the divine then takes over. And Buddha used a word called sotopanna, which means stream enter. So you now enter the stream and the stream takes you from there. So that's why divine is very valuable in any meditation you do, and you want them on your side. One thing about divine, my understanding, and that's the understanding we would go in workshop, is that you have to invite the divine. They don't just appear. Bad forces can come and help you or give you company even without invitation, but divine forces usually need invitation. So in our workshop, we'll be invoking divine energy to be with us, around us, and stay with us. So a little bit about energy that we will be using this in our workshop and in our daily life. I mean, you want to conserve energy and not waste energy. It's easy to waste energy, and you can just try monitoring your life, and you will find many, many times you do things that are kind of draining energy from you. Then create energy and share energy. We do create energy when we do meditation, and sharing, of course, when you meet with other people. So just some examples of, you can surround yourself with positive energy, interact with people who are positive. You may meet somebody and feel like, drained at the end of the meeting. And the last one, when I say life is a gigantic menu, this started because my first talk that I gave in a library, the topic was death and donuts. And that was interesting. And then I, it's like started thinking, and then I realized I like honey curler in Tim Horton. That doesn't mean other donuts don't exist, or Dunkin' Donut doesn't exist. It simply means that I like one and I pick one. The same way in life, there are good things, good items, bad people. You can pick. I mean, we are fortunate enough to be in a place where we can pick who we interact with. We can pick what gives us energy and satisfaction. And even though they exist side by side, we don't have to pick and find ourselves in trouble or things that lose energy. So for me, the way I live, my work inspires me, my colleagues inspire me, my patients inspire me. It doesn't mean that there are no problems at work, or it doesn't mean that there are no colleagues who don't like me or don't have the same chemistry. And it also doesn't mean that we don't have, there is a book on talkative patients or how to deal with patients who are, who may cause trouble. But you can pick the ones that inspiration happens and then move on with that. And you have to manage the others, and that's management issue. That's not my life. So inspiration, any inspiration, I say that creates energy, anything that can inspire you. So I'll give you some examples. I have had this patient who brought in an angel. I don't like to say angel figurine because I associate with those angels as if they are protecting me. And she brought one angel every Christmas for last 20 years, and we have all of them in my office. I have that feeling that they are there. This creativity, this is beautiful. A sled that was horse driven, and people who have seen this in real life feel that it's a great creativity and energy. And this is the Hanuman Ji, we call in India. This is monkey god. And I feel that he is there to help me and protect, and he is known to do that in our culture. So basically sharing, I think it's extremely important that if you are positive, you share your positivity. Of course, group dynamics, and I call my urology group, which I lead, a happy, hardworking urology group. This is just information that we are working on an app like Headspace or Calm, and we will call it Relax to enhance your awareness and find peace and become calm. That will be the kind of thinking behind that. That ends my presentation, and I really appreciate all of you participating. And this is a very high-powered place and group, and it affects thinking of the whole health system. And I appreciate giving me some time to present our information on the workshop. I would request Dr. Kavari to say a few words.
The bottom line is that this workshop is a tool, is a rope, a guideline. And if somebody is interested, if any person comes to this workshop, and one of them reach the point and transform and sleep better overnight and become a better person, more comfortable person, our teams got the reward. That's our goal.